Okay, we're live. All right, a little technical difficulties. I ran that other live stream and it just got clobbered. And next thing you know, I got it disconnected. So I'm not sure if it's working like it should. So I'm gonna restart it, and we'll get the video back again started. Okay, so we'll just start things over again real quick. So let's try it. Welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City Island Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what have I got for you? We're talking underwater fishing video. In this case, a review and Q&A specifically of what I've done here with a dough bait that I made up with a simple recipe. And then when well, bear with me, I got my dog over here. He's going to kind of chime in every once in a while. So bummer on that, but I'm off-site at this point. Different environment, different acoustic, so it may even sound a little less than what it normally does. But anyways, let's go and bear through it because I want to get this video out, and I also want to open up to any Q&A because I believe there's some folks out there that are interested in what I've done, as well as some recent updates or mobile fishing live streams that I've been hosting. So let me go ahead and run the video. Okay, so here is yours truly, just kind of working a dough bait, cast it out into the pond. It's a local pond that I fish frequently. And in there, I've got the dough bait. It's going to land on the bottom, and you'll see some fish come about, start pecking away at the little dough bait. Okay. All right, there's a bluegill. There's another bluegill. It's good stuff. Excuse me. All right, and then in there, you'll notice in past videos where I've done underwater fishing videos, in particular the Water Wolf 2.0, you'll see that the video is more canted because the camera kind of tilts left or right. Most recently, I made an adjustment to that camera using my 3D printer, put these wings on the bottom of it to allow it to land and give it a more level playing field when it sets on the bottom. And I've been happy with that so far. And you can see that the fish are liking this. I'm just using a simple size 6 bait holder hook and some dough bait. And a simple recipe that I made using flour, salt, baking powder, and the key is vanilla extract. The vanilla extract, I believe, is what's giving it that extra. All right, Jasmine Lindsay. Hi, how's it going? Just doing a redo of the previous live stream because we got disconnected and I don't think it was working too well. So I'm trying to just go over what I did recently with this dough bait. So I've been happy with the dough bait, and it's done well with the local pond with these fish and whatnot. See, Jamie's on. Hi, Jamie. And then I seem to see more yellow on the screen above. Yeah, the screen above is from an underwater video that I've taken using the Water Wolf camera. So there will be some greenish stuff there because it is kind of clobbered. I am fishing on the bottom, but at several points you'll see as it's going through the water column, you'll see these fish come through. All right, hi, I am Lucas. Okay, glad to see you. I've been watching you since you made the... I'm not sure about that one. Looks like there's a lot of junk coming in again. Oh, well. All right, so when that happens and these comments come in like this, I shift and I just answer specific fishing-related questions. So I'm going to give you some updates on some recent happenings with the dough bait that I've been using. Additionally, I've been shifting over to using the ultralight bait casting in a lot of these mobile fishing live streams. And with those mobile fishing live streams, I've gotten some really good engagement, in particular with the ultralight bait casting. And on top of that, the Ned rig and a do-it-yourself inline spinner board. I made some adjustments because the key thing there is when you're ultralight bait casting, you are basically using ultralight lures and offering these smaller size lures that in highly pressured ponds you'll find that the bass are more readily striking those lures compared to some normal traditional size bass lures, fish lures, and whatnot. All right, and then on top of that, Let's see. You'll see at some point a bass come through in the video, and additionally, you'll see several turtles come through. On top of that, I also use several cameras for these underwater videos. This one is a uh, the Waterwolf 2.0. Do you use Yamamoto plastics? I don't fish much, but the Senkos. Yes, I do. When I'm using just normal bait casting gear, I'll do that, as well as I'll shift over to even some lighter Senkos. In particular, with this pond that I fish locally, I find that the 4 versus the 5-inch green pumpkin with black and red flake work well. The other thing is on top of that, what I like is with the Senko, it the bass tend to hold it longer when they initially pick it up. So you have a better chance of a hookup rate, or at least increased chance of hookup rates when you're using those Senkos. Ned rig, that's pretty cool too. I've got a video on that one with another mobile fishing live stream doing the ultralight stuff, and things have done well there. But in this video, you'll just see that this dough bait is working well. It's attracting the fish, and it's done good. I think I've got a video on that, explains how I made it. You can make it in basically under 2 minutes, so that's been pretty good. The other thing about Senkos, which is also the thing I also noticed with the Ned rig, is I tend to fish the line versus the actual strike itself. So I'm watching the line versus the end of my rod, or feeling for any strikes. So it's really that line pickup is what I'm looking for when I'm fishing Senkos, and in this case, the Ned rig. Also, I just started these mobile fishing live streams where I'm just out and about using my Android phone, just kind of fishing, and things are coming in. There's a lot of engagement there that I get, and it's specifically related to fishing, so that's good about those. This one seems to have a lot of folks joining and saying a bunch of stuff. So, like I said, I'll just focus on any of the questions that come in concerning fishing. All right. Okay, so the mobile fishing live stream, the first one that I did was a crappie jig one that was using a fairly light lure, and unfortunately I was using the Flight Feather Kingfisher reel that I was using 2-pound test line. And with that 2-pound test line, I found that you have to be very careful when you are fishing it, because if you catch a fish, you pick it up, it may break on you. And then on top of that, I also noticed I mainly use it for trout fishing. So when you're for stock trout fishing, so if you shift over to some larger fish and whatnot, well, guess what? You're probably going to have more break-offs than normal. So I probably would suggest maybe go with a heavier line, or I do suggest going with a heavier line. In fact, that's what I ended up doing later after that video, where I picked up some bass using some inline spinners. And then I followed up with another stream where I was doing some fishing with the Ned rig also. And then from there, I took a do-it-yourself inline spinner, made some adjustments to it, put in another, it's called the Euro Tackle Microfinesse 2-inch Bass Assassin. That's done well as well. Noticing that the action that it makes is fairly good. I liked it. Let's see, ice fishing. No, not ice fishing. I'm here in Texas, and things don't get that cold when it comes to our local lakes. All right. Okay, so other things to bring up, especially with this dough bait. If I was using this to target catfish initially, I would go with a a circle hook. Those work really well. And then on top of that, when you're fishing a circle hook, do make sure that you have that hook point exposed, because that will make a difference when it comes to your hookup rate as well when you're using circle hooks. I've used this dough bait as well as another dough bait recipe that uses some cornmeal to just give it a little bit more of a solid composition, and that's worked well. Just I wanted to make something that I can make in under 2 minutes, or basically 2 minutes. In fact, that's how long it took me, because I used the microwave and whatnot, and I can still store it in a Ziploc bag, and it's good to go for several months, or not months, I'd say several weeks. Just look for any mold or anything that comes in there. Okay, let's see, other things. When I'm working the mobile fishing live streams, there'll be a lot more talking, as well as detailing out what I'm doing, mainly because I'm simulcasting it as part of our Real Cast Fishing podcast. And what's happening there is after I get that video done, I will convert it to a audio format and get that posted as well. And there you're also getting the information, and because I have to go and explain things in more detail so that you can see or hear what I'm doing. That is the explanation. And just a moment ago, you just saw a turtle come up and pop away at the bait. Yeah, the turtles do like the dough bait as well. So heads up there. All right. Let's see. More recently, I think the last mobile fishing live stream I posted was a pond fly fishing one. That's where I'm using a foam damselfly initially, or foam spider, foam damselfly, and then I switch over to a foam grasshopper, small size, size 10, yeah, about size 10 hook. And then from there, I shift to fishing for mainly some bluegill. There was a lot of bluegill in that stream. So do check out those. There's some good information there. I just saw a bass just go by in the screen above. Okay, so I believe that vanilla extract that's infused with the or mixed in with the dough bait does get them attracted to it. So heads up there, you do have an opportunity possibly of catching a bass or two with this thing, but it's mainly for catfish. Is what I designed it for. You probably could use it for carp. I do like the ability to make this fairly quickly. About a couple of minutes, I can be ready to go with it. Okay. Anyone have any fishing questions? Do reach out. Hopefully I can answer them. Just an average Joe, avid fisherman, not expert, just as our YouTube channel says, our motto is to learn to fish by our trials and errors. All right. So in this case, from a trial error standpoint, I do like the dough bait. It's a very, very good recipe, very simple one, and the fish do like it. They are attracted to it. Another lesson learned, if you want to get into some of these underwater videos, I do like the water wolf for one main reason is the battery life. It'll last about 4 to 6 hours. You put in I think it's like a 32 gigabyte micro SD card. It works well. And then on top of that, I like that you can see that it is visually, without having to open the camera itself, you can look from the outside and see the LED lights, giving you an indication that, one, it's recording, even more important that it's on, and then it has a series of light colors, so red, green, I think there's like an amber or yellow one that also gives you a heads up on how much battery life you have left. That's different than some of the other cameras that I had, and it's also different than the Waterwolf 1.0 camera that came out years ago. That one, you just could see the LED light working, but you didn't get an indication it was going to stay the battery power. So I do like that. Go Fish Cam, I have one of those. They recently went out of business, and I do like the LED light it has, as well as the wireless capability when you are floating it on top. Unfortunately, battery life was not to be expected. It's more like a 30-minute battery life for yours truly. All right. Orion's. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Orion's Descendant. How's it going? Just going over some of the video as well as just some updates on some recent happenings, specifically those mobile fishing live streams that I've been doing, specifically with the ultralight bait casting setup, and then also shifting to some pond fly fishing. From the ultralight bait casting setup, the first one that I did a couple of days ago, several days ago, I think earlier this week, was one where I'm using the feather or flight feather kingfisher reel. That one has been doing well. How's it going? Doing well. Doing well. Things are good here. Just off site right now. Not in not in my normal locale at this point. Just doing a quick update to the folks out here in the YouTube sphere. All right. So I did learn from I guess the takeaway there, 2-pound test line. Be careful. Bring a net. Maybe bank the fish, but don't pick it up. It may pull on you. The other thing is just heads up at the abrasion that it gets. So if you initially get a strike and that bass takes it, there is that tendency for that line to abrade against the jaws or teeth of the bass, and you'll snap off fairly quickly. So land them quickly if you don't have them on the lip. If you can. I mean, sometimes it's out of your control. The other thing is the BFS Shimano BFS Scorpion X BFS XG. That one is still doing well. I like that one. I use it for 2 sessions on the mobile fishing live streams. One with a Ned rig, the other one with a do-it-yourself inline spinner. That one is lined with 6-pound, 6-pound test, and that is the same one that I use to take to the coast. That with its seal bearings, it's okay to fish it in salt water. Just again, make sure you rinse it off and whatnot. And you can see another set of bluegills coming in, popping away at the dough bait above. So good news there. It's working, and I like that recipe. It's fast, easy to put together, under 4 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes maybe. I got a video on there. Check it out. The other thing is, I did fish several local ponds here. The pond over there that we call the Sonic Pond. There's one that we call the pond behind In-N-Out Burger, and then there was another one that I went to just up at Angel Parkway in our area. In the case of Sonic, that's where I used the Ned rig. In the case of the pond behind In-N-Out Burger, that's where I went with the do-it-yourself inline spinner. And I was just pointing out during that session that when things kind of slowed down, that, hey, heads up, if the bite is slow, you've got the In-N-Out Burger to get a bite. So Raising Cane's where you can get some chicken tenders, and you got Cheddar's if you want a sit-down meal. And then further down, you can go to Payway, Chick-fil-A, El Pollo Loco. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Even a Whataburger, there's a Whataburger there too, along with the Taco Bell. Anyways, that's always good because I could always get sidetracked when I'm fishing to run and get a bite, a snack. Anyways, let's see. Thing about that do-it-yourself inline spinner fishing that particular pond was I do wish that I had my fly rod in my little pickup. What happened was I had just switched out the fly rod with a center pin rod because I was getting ready to do some float fishing, and it turns out I should have left that fly rod because the fish were just tearing up whatever was rising on the surface. I think it was these little reddish kind of dragonfly looking things on the surface were flying about, and bluegill bass were just tearing them up. I did get a few strikes. I did even land several when I'd cast that inline spinner for distance as far as I could into the pond and do a little 5 count, or sometimes getting an initial hit right on the surface as the lure struck the water. So still good to fish there. I did go the next day, and unfortunately there was a lot more people there than normal. So maybe a bunch of folks saw that video and wanted to try their luck there. So anyways, I went back, brought the fly rod, and skipped it and went up to Angel Parkway and went ahead and fished there. And in that video, that's the last one I did, there's a lot of me talking as well as fishing, mainly just explaining in details of what I'm doing so that when I simulcast back as a podcast, the listener can at least visualize what I'm describing. And so that's why there's more talking on a lot of those videos than I normally do in my other long form videos. Let's see, some key takeaways out of that session. Again, the fish tend to be more close to the edges of the pond, so you don't have to just immediately show up to a pond and cast out in the distance and try catching the fish. Start working parallel. Initially, you will spook fish as you first initially walk, so just make sure you step lightly as you come up to the bank. Keep fishing, clear that area with a few casts, see if you get any bites and whatnot, and then once you're up close, then you can just slowly step along the side of the bank and start fishing cute angles, if not parallel if you can, to the bank. Okay, there's where that turtle took my dill bait. I think he's going to run with it, drop it, and then move on. And hey, that's what it is. They do like the dill bait also. Okay. Other things with that pond fly fishing, I did a impromptu session there where I just grabbed the fly rod because I just put away my other one, and that one I was using a 9-foot 5 weight, and I was undersized 323 weight reel with 3-weight line. It did have a OPST Skagit head on it, commando head, 175 grain, so it cast no problem. I had no issues with it. Was able to fish it, but I've since swapped them back out. It's a bounced setup now, so I've got that 5-weight with a 4.5 reel. I got another OPST commando head on it, the 200 grain one. That one's ready to go too. Oh, I gotta call it a quits here. Gotta go.
Get him, Charlie. Get my kitty. Get my kitty that's been a bad kitty all morning.